conduct the survey again, primarily to look at host communities in Sawabi, Mardan, Charsada, and Nowshera, and Peshawar. The initial draft has been circulated just amongst a few people, and the report should be out by the end of the week. But just to give you all a heads up, a lot of what we're seeing is sort of what we expected to see. In host communities, again, reconfirming what a lot of us have seen through our assessments. Hand pumps is about 30% of the population use hand pumps. About 20% have other sources of piped water. Protected wells and springs is sort of 17% coverage, et cetera, et cetera. Water treatment practices at the household level, again, predominantly none. So people aren't really using anything sort of a household level of water treatment. Things that, again, I'm addressing with the team. For example, they say the study reveals that at camps there's not a single example of carrying out water treatment practices, and surveyors have claimed that this is very alarming. Certainly, as a cluster, we've agreed that we centrally treat the water in IDP camps, so it's actually something that we expect, and we're happy that they're not doing anything in their homes. At the household level, again, nothing out of the ordinary. A decent range of people who have proper household water storage. And again, it varies from host communities. They have done some camps, but they're referring to them as camps, but I feel like they're spontaneous camps. So again, that's something that we've asked for clarification. Availability at the household level. Actually, our data in the past indicaes that sanitation coverage in many of these districts is in the upper 20s, early 30s. And this report is coming back and saying that 40, 45%, no, I'm sorry, 59% have sufficient access to sanitation. So to me, that's sort of a good sign. But again, some more clarification is required from the team. Hand washing with soap, this is something that actually also came out of the Lochasan earthquake results, is that you have a lot of people washing their hands, 80, 90%, but you have around 10% that do use soap. So it's something that we need to, as a cluster, be looking quite keenly at. Is it availability of soap? Is it just the lack of knowledge that hand washing with soap or ash or something is also critical to the hand washing? And that's, so what we'll do is circulate this amongst all of you when it comes out. The McGrath team has issued some conclusion recommendations. I've actually asked them not to, because I think that's something that needs to come from the cluster based on the information that they present to us. So hopefully circulate it again Thursday, Friday, as soon as we do get it, and then we'll look forward to comments from all of you or ideas of how we should move forward, and then hopefully perhaps in the next cluster meeting to have a more detailed conversation on what we want to take out of this. So overall, a good tool, certainly needs some improvement and refining. So certainly, let's not be so critical, but let's take it for what it's worth. And any questions?
How much have you referred to the IRA, which is the Wash Cluster toolkit that has been developed so far?
Well, this MICRAM is different from that. It's certainly been developed in consultation with global WASH cluster colleagues, and they've fed back on the MICRAM related to WASH. And we certainly looked at, when this questionnaire was being developed, I was not involved, but certainly the IRA was there. Some of the global WASH cluster tools, assessment tools, were sort of side by side. And it was reviewed that way. But it is a different tool.
My question is,
information management support on the global WASH cluster joining us hopefully Wednesday, but perhaps no later than next Monday. Who's been trained in the global tools, will sort of see and assess the situation and help support UNICEF and the local government in terms of streamlining this information management stuff, and that certainly would include reference and bringing in as much as possible any of the global tools that have been developed. Any other questions, McGrath? Yes, they do have district-wise. The initial report does not present it so clearly, so that's something I've asked them to go back and do, is present it clearly district-wise, present it clearly host communities versus spontaneous camps versus any officially notified camps, because it's something that, at least for us, is quite different, and we do need to know that. so hopefully the revised report will be a little bit more useful to all of us. And then it will still, of course, be open to comment.
As regards the districts, you did mention over here Bunaid. So isn't that it has been done in only District Bunaid?
Sorry, that's an and, so that was sort of two agenda items. This again was not actually Banera, it was Sawabi, Madan, Jasada, Nusherat, and perhaps Peshawar. So it was meant to be sort of the areas hosting displaced populations rather than going into Banera. There's certainly discussion about whether that should go forth in Banera, how we want to move collectively forth to get a little bit more information out of Banera. The report? Yeah, the report just came into my inbox, I think, on Friday, and asked for feedback today. So I think the initial round of some feedback, and then, well, I know, and that's one of the challenges that McBrown was supposed to be able to give us feedback in, I think, 72 hours. That, again, has not yet happened, but hopefully we're getting a little bit quicker and quicker as we can. Mapping of interventions in host communities, just to touch upon it very quickly. Again, information has begun to trickle in. It's a little bit challenging because certain agencies have started interventions, certain agencies have planned interventions, certain agencies have partial funding and are providing lists of union councils where they have planned interventions. There are certain agencies who did reply, but their information was not clear. So to avoid taking up the time of a lot of us who may not be involved yet in host communities, we just asked that at the end of the meeting, this group sit down together to sort of go through quickly and let's address any issues that might come up now, because a lot of people are seeking funding, a lot of people are identifying certain union councils. There already does seem to be a little bit of, not overlap certainly in interventions because they've not yet been carried out, but we do want to prevent that now. So if I could, should I take my name or does everybody know who you are? Islamic Relief, I'll pick on, UN Habitat, Mercy Corps, IRC, NCA is out there. Who am I missing? I don't know if we want to bring Oxfam into the picture, but perhaps Oxfam. Did we miss anybody? UNICEF. Yeah, and Solidarities, of course. Yeah. Human Relief Foundation. Okay, so I haven't received any information from Human Relief and Muslim Aid. Great. Number 5, operational issues for discussion. Again, we're still sort of having the mixed Peshawar, Islamabad cluster meetings. We're thankful again for all of you, in particular our government counterparts who have been gracious enough to come to Islamabad for these meetings. I know it does take, a full day. So any specific issues for those of us